Commissioners, I indicated the movement of the docket to Pretoria did not involve me. But through my inquiry from the team, I was informed that they had scanned every single docket before handing it over, so that they keep record of the status of those dockets when they handed them over. I get involved when the docket has to come back to KZN. And my involvement is started with a meeting that was held between myself, the acting divisional commissioner of detective services, as well as General Khumalo. What I'm trying to reflect here is that as a police officer who knows about the criminal investigations, once a case docket has got an instruction from court to arrest a suspect, and such an instruction must be carried out with speed. Now, for the period when these dockets were handed over to the head office, there were 5 of those dockets that had instruction to arrest suspects. Because the instruction came before the execution of those arrests, those dockets sat amongst the total dockets in the head office, and those arrests were not effected. What is more troubling about this is that the head office detective services had conducted some inspection on these dockets, as I indicated yesterday. In their inspection, they will have seen, and they even confirmed some of them through the entries that they make, that the investigation is complete on the docket and suspects should be arrested. The least that they could have done is to take the dockets and go and look for that suspect and arrest the suspect. That's correct.
Do you agree with what's written at page 207, that is a concern for you as the head of the political task team, as a member and as a police officer? Is that a concern? And if so, why?
It is a concern indeed. As I said earlier, that this will have been an extract of the briefing that was given to the IMCs about the challenges that we're experiencing with regard to the prosecuting of these cases. That when a person has been accused of a serious murder case, arrested, granted 10,000 rand bail, and you commit other serious crimes thereafter of possession of firearms, but still given bails, it simply means that the court is not taking serious the risk that this individual has in society. That if he keeps granted bail because of murder and is arrested with a firearm again, and is granted another bail, and again arrested because of the firearm charge, and granted bail again, it simply means that he is allowed to go out there and carry a firearm and do whatever he wants to do with the firearm. The court does not see the need of stopping this person from doing that. And this has a serious consequences towards the witnesses and many other people that are involved on cases that this person is arrested for.
And perhaps for the sake of completeness, let's look at case at page 208, which is a slightly different case, but along, in the same vein, under item 8.6, if you could read that.
Fisokuhle Ntuli was arrested, charged, and sentenced on Patfontein case 50 of June 2016 for 4 times attempted murder charges. He appealed and was granted bail. Whilst on bail, he was arrested and charged on 4 murder cases, as per Nongoma case 30 of April 2016, 391 2016, also Nongoma, 88 Nongoma, as well as 127 Nongoma, all of them in 2018.
Yes.
And possession of unlicensed firearm as per Nongoma case 285 of 2017, and Nongoma case 147 of 2018 June, that he is alleged to have committed while on appeal.
So this accused is actually charged, convicted, and sentenced, then he appeals. He's granted bail while he's awaiting his appeal. And in that period, manages to commit 4 more murders.
That is correct.
Okay. Now,
Manages to be charged with a commission of...
that's more precise, legally correct, yes, manages to be charged.
It remains the same, Commissioner, that there is a lot of interference with these investigations in different forms, as is listed there, in order to try and close these cases by business people and politicians, and by and large, because they are political cases, the people on the higher level of the syndicates that are involved are the ones that are behind the closures of dockets. So the influence the docket still remains the case to date. On the 27th of January 2025, during the Police Day celebrations, I was interviewed by the ENCA media who were present in these celebrations. During this interview, I mentioned that I believe that the minister issued the directive to disband the political killings task team because someone had whispered in the minister's ear that the team was investigating cases that might link his or her associates. The political killings task team should be disbanded. My conclusion in this regard was informed by the facts that objective evidence within the police structures militated against the dissolution of the task team. I concluded, therefore, that the decision was influenced by information other than that at the disposal of the police and serve the interest of those impacted by the ongoing investigations. In that interview, I also stated that there should not be someone from head office influencing the minister to destroy or attempt to halt investigations. In other words, the PKTT was now fighting criminal syndicates involved in the political killings on the other hand, and at the same time had to contend with forces within the state apparatus indirectly fighting the PKTT through the executive, the minister, and highly placed members of SAPS with the view to sabotage critical investigation. I was aware that after this interview, the target on my back had grown exponentially. However, I simply could not keep quiet and allow the minister to take his drastic action. At this stage, I did not yet know the person I mentioned in the interview, Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi. As I'm outlining again here, I've said when I started, we investigate the picture emerged that calls for further investigation. So this commission is here to help us answer the question of how involved are the politicians and other private people, including police officers, how are they involved in interrupting the work of the security cluster in administering this criminal justice system. This is but one that you're going to see at the end, how Mr. Adams' action is impacting to the work that the team is doing. And this information is classified on its nature that Mr. Adams should not be in possession of. So it is an information that is intended for another structure of parliament. If it comes to his position and as a lawmaker, as a person who is serving in parliament, he ought to know that when I'm in possession of information from crime intelligence that is classified, it must be handed over to the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence so that it can be interrogated, regardless of the status of that information. So that is expectation that one has towards a lawmaker, such as Mr. Fazal Adams, who is currently serving in Parliament. Because this classified information we are referring to here, it's involving personal information of individuals that is deposited at crime intelligence or extracted by crime intelligence when the crime intelligence is conducting the vetting process for security clearance for individuals. It's a very sensitive information because it digs deeper to your personal information, your relatives, your criminal records, and everything that the state wants to test in order to confirm whether you qualify to be given a security clearance certificate or not. Such a clearance will then allow you to be in possession of sensitive material. The same applies to the members of the Joint Standing Committee in Parliament. It is only those members of Joint Standing Committee in Parliament that are vetted, and their information is in the disposal of this intelligence structure. And once they pass that vetting, certificates are issued to them. And that is the entry for those politicians to become members of the Joint Standing Committee. It is not open for everyone. So Mr. Adam, unfortunately, does not serve in the Joint Standing Committee. I do not know what is the reason that he is not part of the Joint Standing Committee. Perhaps that he might be able to answer himself. But in this regard, we know that he serves in the Portfolio Committee of Police, which is an oversight structure of government, and he's there as a public representative that holds us accountable on how we perform our function as a police on an open account of this that is allocated to the South African Police Service. But on the use of any funds on a secret account, the accounting role for that is within the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence as regulated by the National Strategic Act of Intelligence that regulates how matters of state secrets must be handled, including the budget, resources, and otherwise. So Mr. Adam is not part of it, but recklessly he handles intelligence information not only within Parliament, but he takes it out to the public. Commissioners, Ms. Kola Barnett is a long-serving member of Parliament. Maybe you might, beg your pardon, Ms. Kola Barnett, maybe you might excuse to some degree, not that I agree with it, Mr. Adams, of being new in that Parliament. But Ms. Kola Barnett is a veteran in Parliament as a lawmaker who ought to understand what belongs where in Parliament. And I can confirm, Commissioners, that she is appointed by her own political party, which is a Democratic Alliance, to be a member of both the Portfolio Committee on Police that deals with the open account, as well as being a member of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, which deals with the covert funds. So she's better positioned to call the department to come and account at the right platform. But we have seen, and I said when I started, I'm going to throw one example of each. I'm not going to go into details with many. There are many examples. But she's one of the leaders in our legislature that is participating in both breaking the law as well as fueling these malicious attacks that are happening within crime intelligence and ultimately directed at Khumalo as the head of that intelligence. I said she is a member of Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. So what I put here on as an example on page 61 under paragraph 186 is a statement that she released in her capacity as a member of the Democratic Alliance, which I'm going to quote these two paragraphs, Commissioners, on record. The Democratic Alliance is calling for an immediate and thorough investigation into the recent purchase of a multi-million rand commercial property by the Crime Intelligence Division of the South African Police Service in Bria in Durban. There is a gentleman Northwest maintains a direct communication with the arrested person, Vusmu's Kat Matlala. And in their communication, it involves the contract that Nhlanhla has with the police service, which was a 360 million rand contract I spoke about during the press briefing. And in this communication that the two of them are having, Nhlanhla is approaching him to help him engage with the minister in order to stop the cancellation of his contract. And this Mr. Suleiman Karim, of course, commits to do that because he has this relationship with the minister. And as I say, I don't want to dive deeper into the other conversations or activities that are taking place in that communication between the two. However, the intention here to display is to show that there is this gentleman that is part of the movement of money and the coordinator between Mr. Nhlanhla and the minister, and is part of the investigation. That's why I'm not going to go deeper into explaining how the movement of funds and the likes are happening. But it's just to flag him as an enabler to facilitate the interest of the minister as well as the relationship with Nhlanhla. Now, Commissioners, I was just introducing Bran Mkhwanazi that there is this gentleman who made contact with me, and the Chief of Staff confirmed that this person is a close associate with the minister. So that's how I got a confirmation, also with the exchange of messages between me and the Chief of Staff. So that's when I got to be comfortable that this person is speaking because he knows things that are happening at the office of the minister. When Commissioners, on the same paragraph 187, but second page 62, I had raised issues because upon further engagement, and I discovered that this Bran Mkhwanazi is linked to the underworld figures, people that are subject to investigation that are involved in criminality within the country. And this person is close to the minister. So when we appeared before the portfolio committee and I mentioned this Bran Mkhwanazi, the minister on the record in Parliament, he denied knowing this person on record. But later, in a private conversation that the minister had on the 30th of March, he acknowledged that he knows this person as his comrade. Nhlanhla, Vusmus Nhlanhla, is one fellow that has been enjoying too much privilege from the law enforcement. And the typical example is that one of, or at least few of his vehicles, not talking about the number, but it's a couple of them, 4 or 5, the number will be confirmed through the report. His personal vehicles were registered by the Deputy Chief of Police at Guruleni, that is Major General Mkhwanazi. He facilitated the registration of these Mr. Nhlanhla's vehicles under the municipality as if they are municipality official vehicles, utilizing the funds from the municipality of Ekurhuleni. So the vehicles then belong on record, when you test them on the system, they reflect as if they belong to municipality. It did not end there, Commissioners. He took these vehicles and he caused the municipality to take the blue lights that belongs to municipality. The blue lights are supposed to be for the law enforcement vehicles within municipality, and he fitted those blue lights in these vehicles. And these vehicles were then given to Mr. Nhlanhla. So we want to demonstrate, Commissioners, that a police officer of his status is indeed conducting himself in an unprofessional manner and the unlawful conduct of abusing the state resources as well as his position as a police officer